continuing to welcome Shabbat with the words of Shalom Aleichem.
Shabbat Shalom. I know I could hear you even though I couldn't see you saying Shabbat Shalom back to me. Thank you, Cantor, for helping us all raise our voices in song and warm up our vocal cords to get ready to greet Shabbat. This Shabbat is, every Shabbat is special. This Shabbat is particularly special and one of my favorite Shabbats of the year as we welcome all of our sixth graders and their families in particular as we embark on our annual sixth grade Shabbaton. We look forward to celebrating with you throughout Shabbats and starting your journeys to become bar and bat mitzvah. But who am I? I'm Rabbi David Levy, and I'm joined in the leadership of our service by Cantor Amanda Kleinman, Rabbi Daniel Reeser, and Cantor Danielle Rodniski. We're so excited to have you with us for Shabbat, and I invite you now to join me in kindling the lights to welcome Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We'll continue welcoming Shabbat together with the words of Lecha Dodi. We'll sing together verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Before we chant the last verse together, I'd invite you to stand, to face the door of the room that you're in. I have the pleasure this evening of being able to be in WRT's sanctuary, but to turn and face the door of whatever room it is that you're in to help us greet the Shabbat bride.
We seem to be having some technical difficulties. Thank you, Dylan, for letting us know she's frozen. I'm going to pass to Cantor Rodnitsky we're going to change melodies, which is actually a very common tradition with Lecha Dodi. You start with one melody and you end with another about halfway through. So this is the perfect time. Cantor, we can't hear you. Yeah, we still can't hear you, Cantor. So this is the night of too many technical difficulties. I'm going to offer a version of Lecha Dodi while we figure out all these things. So Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki ba'orech, komi ori, 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 shidaberi kevod Adonai, anahich nikla, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה, ובצולתוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We'll continue now with our call to prayer, Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam vaed. Many centuries ago, the ancient Greeks looked around their world and had an idea. They said, there's this thing in the universe called fortune, and that when things are going well in your life, fortune is smiling on you. And when things aren't going well in your life, fortune maybe has turned its back on you. An idea that some sort of divine energy sometimes is directed towards us and sometimes directed away from us. That's what the ancient Greeks thought, at least. Our ancestors, the ancient Hebrews, had a different idea. They believed in a God who is with us and who cares about us all the time. Not just when things are going well, but a God who's interested in our lives and cares about the day-to-day happenings here on earth, always, even when things are going poorly. A God who is invested in what happens and who sees our suffering and cares about it, even if that God can't take it away. Much the way that a parent seeing their own child suffer feels deeply for that child's pain and loves them even when we can't take that child's pain away. The Hebrews believed in a God who cares about us not only in times of good, but also in times of bad. And so our ancestors wrote the following prayer. They said, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Blessed are you, our eternal God, who loves us and cares about us, not just when things are going well, but even when things aren't. Please join me now in the watchword of our faith. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta b'am B'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvlechtecha v'derech, uvshochbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot bein einecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha, leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, V'hitem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihiot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
And if my mic now works, we shall celebrate.
It does, we hear you.
Yay! We joined together in singing our song of celebration and freedom. Torah When the Israelites crossed the sea and finished their celebration, they turned around and saw this vast desert before them. They didn't know what would lie ahead on their journey, and so maybe they prayed this next prayer, a prayer for peace and protection, for God to spread a shelter of peace over them while they began the next part of their journey. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim, l'chaim, V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et hashabbat la'asot et hashabbat לדורותם ברית עולם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. אדוני שפתי תפתח, אדוני שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך, ופי Ata Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'Konei Hakol, Ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Ata Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Ata Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol ata rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofei cholim, U'matir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot u'mido melach, Melech memit u'mechaye u'matzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol, Baruch ata Adonai mechayei hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yihallelu Selah. Baruch ata Adonai ha'el hakadosh. We now take a few moments for private prayer and reflection. In this week's Torah portion, Moses' father-in-law Yitro watches Moses all day long, sitting and answering questions of the Israelites who are waiting one by one in line to see him. He sits there all day, bearing that burden all by himself, and Yitro says to Moses, "This thing you are doing is not good. You cannot do it alone." Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrows, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road, I'll share your load. If you just call me, lean on me,
been smart, my whole sermon would have ended with just that. So often we just need someone to lean on, and thank you, Cantor, for bringing a little bit of musical beauty into all of our lives and reminding us that the importance of the community that we're building, even when we cannot be together. But I'm not smart. And I was thinking about something else. You can't hear me well, Hannah? Is it sounding better? Okay. I was muttering. It's my fault. Thank you for helping me. I know I've said it before to so many people, but you couldn't pay me to go back to middle school. Middle school was a tough time for me. Every morning I looked in the mirror and I didn't like what I saw. The people I thought were my friends were ignoring me. I didn't have a sport. I had a trombone, like Rabbi Reeser, which turned out to be a great tool for shofar training. And Mom, if you're joining us virtually tonight, you usually do. This is like what mothers do. Join their rabbis, even though we're like miles and miles away. Sorry for all the stress I caused you. I know it wasn't easy to be my parent back then. Sadly, my experience is not singular, and I know that there are people here tonight who can find their own story in mine, either as a parent or a middle schooler themselves. There's a saying that goes, "You're only as happy as your unhappiest child." Well, new research examined multiple aspects of mothers' personal well-being, parenting, and perception of their children, which showed mothers of middle schoolers faring the most poorly. What I didn't know then was that life as a middle schooler is not just hard for middle schoolers, but for our parents as well. Researchers are striving to understand why that is, and they have a number of theories, including middle school also brings other pressures. Cliques develop, academics become more serious, and preteens make moves toward independence and away from parents. In the midst of all this maelstrom of emotion and change, the feeling of uprootedness and exhaustion, we add a bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah to the mix. What were our ancestors even thinking? It's stressful enough. How could we add to that stress by asking a child to get up and lead a service in front of their peers and family and accept the mantle of Torah now of all times? I say all that because the more I thought about it, the more I came to believe that this is the perfect time to receive this new status. And I'm proud of how WRT works tirelessly to ensure that this is seen as a blessing for each one of our families and for each one of our young people, and not just another stressor. I know that sounds strange, but I see a beautiful parallel in this moment in our Torah portion. Right before Torah is given on Mount Sinai and we experience the revelation there, the text teaches they entered the wilderness of Sinai and encamped in the wilderness. Sages through the ages have asked why the Torah was given in the wilderness. Why, when the people are unsettled, uprooted, confused, and stressed, do we pause and embrace Torah at this time? Why not wait until they're settled in the land, calm and collected, to engage with this new teaching? As the adage goes, there are no atheists in foxholes. Torah was given to the people in the wilderness when the people needed it most. In a time of tribalism and new independence, the Torah was presented to provide values and structure. In a time of rootlessness and competition, Torah was given to provide grounding and balance. In a time where the Jewish people needed Torah, it was there for them. The same is true for each of us. Torah is there when we need it most, wherever we are in our journey through life, whether we're in the wilderness of middle school or the wilderness of parenting, the wilderness of COVID-19 isolation, or the wilderness of sleep deprivation. So what makes Torah so special that it can be there for us in the wilderness regardless of the moment? The text doesn't change. It's been the same for thousands of years. But the words that surround that text, the learning derived from every word, accent, and symbol, imbue it with deeper wisdom. For millennia, the brightest minds of our people read our Torah text and mined it for meaning. The new web tool, Sefaria.org, has brought this into starkest relief. Today, any one of us could go online, go to a single verse of Torah, click on it, and find thousands of years of wisdom that ranges from classical commentary, trying to understand the verse from, what does just the Hebrew mean in English, to more extravagant extrapolations, to Musar, Jewish ethical teachings that we can derive from our ancient words, and so much more. As Rabbi Ben Bagbag in Pirkei Avot reminds us, you can turn it and find everything within it. Because every day, there are more lessons being learned from the Torah and being added to the corpus of our tradition. The Torah is also compelling because we change. As a people, we read the same text each year, but our life experience and situation is different each time we come to that text. Therefore, the lessons we need to learn from our Torah will shine brighter when we approach the text from our new vantage point. As a child, I loved the Torah stories with their clear moral message, or at least I thought so at the time, as I started to understand my place in the world. As a teen, I felt the malignant self-doubt that pervades that period of life. And I found new appreciation for how every character in our Torah tradition, in our entire Bible, is flawed. And yet, even though they are flawed, they are worthy of love. As a parent of 3 boys, the stories of Genesis have new meaning for me. Genesis begins with a battle between brothers, Cain and Abel, and ends with 2 brothers who live in harmony, Ephraim and Manasseh. These past few years, the lessons I've learned about parenting siblings who fight and could not be more different make the stories of Genesis more powerful for me, especially when I bless my sons on Friday night, as every parent is invited to do, in the name of Ephraim and Manasseh, the 2 brothers in our Torah that didn't fight. I don't know what meaning I will find in the words of Torah in the weeks and years to come. But what I do know and have learned time and again is that Torah is a fountain of wisdom that thankfully never runs dry. I see that amongst our stalwart Torah studies community who have been coming for years to unpack its mysteries. I see that in the speeches crafted by new B'nai Mitzvah who have found wisdom that pertains to their lives, even in the midst of middle school. I see it each time I sit down to write a sermon, not knowing what wisdom awaits me. We say of Torah, Eitz Chaim hi l'machazikim ba. It is a tree of life to those that hold fast to it. May that continue to be true. Often when we offer Misha Berach, we do it in the presence of Torah and that ideal of the tree of life. Holding on to those eitzim, hoping and praying that the presence of Torah and the presence of the community we're surrounding ourselves with, will help bring healing to those whom we love, those who are lying on beds of sickness, and who we hope, praise God, and hope and pray will return from this moment of sickness to a moment of healing of full body and spirit. This Shabbat, we are thinking particularly of a number of people, and if you have names to add, please add them into the chat or say them aloud in your own homes. Ezra Yarden ben Harav Elkanah Lev Harabah Eliana Leah, Anthony and Elizabeth Danker, Mordechai ben Yaakov, Raleigh Corin, Deborah Kapnick, Nicole Shusi, Neil Glasgow, Joshua Gendel, Andrew Reiner, Chaim Ben Sephora, Masha Batsora, Leah Greenspan, Aviva Tzila Bat Esther Bela, Dan Sokoloff, Jeffrey Millman, Cheryl Brickman, Chava Batsara, Eliyahu Chaim Ben Fredel, Sheila Fried, Tanya Romanoff, Yitzchak Yona Ben May, Malkot Tzipora Bas Rachel, Tamar Bat Malka, Heschel Meir Ben David Achana, David Ze'ev Ben Fruma Etzel, Mark Wolf, Shai Aviad ben Balfura, Rabbi Eitan Hammerman, Alter Shmuel ben Chavalea, Buster Humphreys, Gene Carver, and all those we are holding in our hearts. We offer the words Misha Berach. Continue with Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה לעוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give to me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your minds. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. We now draw into our minds and hearts those whom we've loved, who've died in recent days and in years gone by. I'll invite those who are observing the first 4 weeks of mourning to first rise, followed by anyone who is observing a yard site, and those within the first year of mourning to please rise. As we remember those most recently taken from us, Sandra Gershman, mother of Karen Klein, Sylvia Alderman, mother of John Ziggy Alderman, Stuart David Byron, father of Linda Byron Glucksman and Lisa Joan Bernstein. Joel Sachs, father of Lori Harrison. Nancy Joan Rabinowitz, mother of David Rabin. And the yard site, the anniversary of their passing, we remember Henry Applebaum, Selma Bamberger, Ethel Barenbaum, Lily Blumberg, Robin Blumberg, Harry Levitt, Emmanuel Shemin, Francis Bogan, Florence Brill, Lillian Chaprak, Leonard Corlin, Francis Duretsky, Sanford Edelman, Paul Ellenbogen, Joshua Emmer, Harold Fogel, Henry Gold, William Goldberg, Ed Ross, Stanley Goldman, Arnold Goldner, Ruth Gottfried, Bessie Green, Anita Grossman, Samuel Joseph, Rhoda Josephs, Nancy Carroll Kahn, Sarah Koretsky, Emmanuel Kerwin, Eleanor Klubak, Abraham Krantz, Alfred Lazar, Peggy Lemley, Walter Lovinger, Bruce Menon, Pearl Meyer, Loretta Miller, Nathan Moros, Benjamin Newman, Michael Peretz, Harriet Pichon, Bernard Pravda, Evelyn Raphael, Sophie Rich, Anna Rubinstein, Anna Rublin, Sarah Sakharov, Bertram Schoenman, Henry Schwartz, Kurt Seelman, Virginia Shear, Gene Sternberg, Paul Tannenbaum, Philip Warschauer, Herman Weiss, and Judith Zeman. If you have names to add to our commemoration or I've inadvertently mispronounced your loved one's name, first please let me know and say them aloud in your homes as together we offer these words, Kadisha Tom, the words of the mourner's Kaddish that speak of their lives and the lives that they lived. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divrach hirutei v'yalmich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmeid kutsha b'richu, le'elam mikol berchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechamata, damiran ba'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'romav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. V'meru, v'meru, amen. V'meru, amen. So a few announcements, just some things that are going on at Westchester Reform Temple over the next week. So first, tomorrow morning, we hope that you'll join for Torah study, have a chance to uncover a little bit more about our Torah portion. I only offered you one verse, and Cantor offered you another beautiful verse. There's so much happening in Parshat Yitro, including the giving of the Torah that happens. So I highly encourage you to check it out. We want to wish Mazel Tov to Samara Forrestein and her whole family who's celebrating her bat mitzvah tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Also, if you are over the age of, take a step back. If you are eligible for the COVID vaccine, they actually just expanded eligibility to people with comorbidities starting on the 15th. But if you need help registering for the vaccine, we have volunteers at the temple who are looking to help others who need this. So feel free to reach out to the temple. It's in the e-blast, just so you have that in mind. If you wanted to learn more about Rosh Chodesh, Cantor Kleiman is leading her monthly group in partnership with the Women of Reform Judaism. That's on Tuesday, February 9th at 11:30. I have been leading over the past 2 years now, a Living with Divorce group in partnership with Jane Slevin. It's a space for people who have been recently divorced or people who've been divorced for a while or struggling with an aspect of single parenting and just need a group of people to feel supported by. That's on Tuesday night at 7. We also have another support group this week at 6 o'clock on Wednesday. For those who've been bereaved, again, those who've been bereaved recently or those who've been bereaved, not so recently and just need a caring support group. That's led by Jane Slevin and Cantor Laura Stein. And last but not least, I'll come back to those of you who are joining us for the Shabbaton. Just a reminder of kind of what's happening now. We are going to end with Kiddush and Motzi. If you want to be seen, amongst all of us, for Kiddush and Motzi, we usually like to promote everyone from attendee into our group. So it gets like to be a very big Zoom room. So if you want to be seen, leave your camera on. If you don't want to be seen, turn your camera off. As I said to the group who joined before, we will be rejoining, kind of like take an hour and change to enjoy your dinner. And then at 8:15, you should have a link to join us for 10 times better than the Tonight Show, is what I was told.
Please join me in Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'yahava uvratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom techilah lemikra'ei kodesh, zeicher litziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'charta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikohamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu, baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
And I have my weekly teamwork between me and Kate, our whole wheat challah with turbinado sugar on top. So if you have someone near you, put your arms around them. I'm going to pretend to put my arms around people, like reaching into other Zoom boxes, as we offer motzi together and give thanks for the bread that we will enjoy. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen.
Thank you, Carol. In my house, we say some bread at the end, but that's, just a little bit of silliness. Thank you all for joining us. We almost have everyone in.
Oh. Do the full screen. Not her.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Rabbi and Cantor. Have a good rest of your Shabbat. Bye-bye.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, guys.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. What's happening at 8 o'clock?
That's for our 6th grade families. So yes, that's it's gonna be a game show. And I guess if